Vaibhav class. So last week we did not have a class, but before that last class we were discussing from 14th chapter, wherein feeling so much neglected, feeling so much unfortunate, Diti one evening out of competitive mentality when her husband is in her ashram, she approached her husband immediately demanding for a son. So Kashyapa was trying to pacify her, saying that please wait till the right time in the night time. So then we can do the needful so that you can have a child. She said, no, it is not possible. Right now, I should have child. So Kashyapa said, this is not the right time. This is actually evening twilight time, Sandhya time. This is the time Lord Shiva will travel along with his hobgoblins, ghostly beings, etc. And if somebody is trying to unite during the Sandhya, right, Sandhya times, so those Lord Shiva keeps those ghostly beings who do not have any grass body into the womb of such kind of people, so that they will have a ghost as their children in future. So was trying to tell that no, Lord Shiva will not do that. Why does he do that? I mean, uh, we are not like common people, something like that. So then um, Kashyapa, he actually says that Lord Shiva actually is our relative. Like first he says that Lord Shiva has nothing to do with us. We are different and he is different. Why he will get into our family matters? So Kashyapa said that no, don't think like that. See, you are the daughter of Daksha. Lord Shiva's wife, Sati, is also daughter of Daksha, and he is like your brother-in-law. And as a result of that, he is like my brother, and you should be ashamed of your brother-in-law. He is wandering right now. He is there in the wandering in the ether, and while he is wandering, we should not engaging in activities for procreation. So it is not at all good. And then he said that no. If you say that he is your brother, so he should be friendly with you. Why he will do harm to you? He will not do it. He will not mind so much. So then Kashyapa was saying that no. For Lord Shiva, there is no one friend, no one enemy. He is the supreme Lord. He treats everyone equally only. So we should be careful. It is not that because he is our relative, so he will not mind whatever we do. Not like that. He treats everyone equally. Whatever is supposed to be awarded according to one's pious or impious activity, will bless or punish them accordingly. So we cannot say that he will ignore whatever we are doing because we are connected to him. We are relatives of Shiva. So then um, the things will continue. So of course this is there. That this is the overall things. So he is while describing about Lord Shiva, who will be wandering during that evening times, Kashyapa says that Kashyapa also described the glories of Lord Shiva. In the upcoming verses, we'll see the glories. So, but before this, he also said a couple of in couple of verses that you being the wife, you are actually helping people like me to fulfill one's grihastha dharma. And being a grihastha, one will be the support of brahmachari, vanaprastha, and sannyasi, the three ashramas. And other three ashramas always have a trouble of fall down. But grihasthas, having taken shelter of the women, they will not fall down, and they will keep their things under control because the wife will be the commander in chief of the palace. So she will protect from the enemies, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Masara. So no one can repay the debt one has for the wife. What to speak of the husband, even the other family members, the parents, children, and other relatives, and even the guests, whoever come, they will be served. They'll be offered water, food, sitting places, etc. etc. Everything is provided by the mistress of the house. So everyone will be indebted to her. No one can repay uh, her service. So in that way, in a positive way, she tried to appease her, did not work. Now, in a kind of terrifying way, he was trying to create some kind of fear in her by telling that this is not the right time for having children. So please wait till the night. But she says no, that is not possible right now. So that was the context in which the discussion is going on. And now we will continue from text number 25 onwards, and we'll see where this entire episode leads to. Someone please repeat after me. Madhav Mishra Prabhu, you can repeat after me.
Yes, Prabhu.
शमशानचक्रा नीलधूलिधूम्रा
श्वानचक्रा नीलधूलिधूम्रा
विकीर्णविद्योतजता कलापा
विकीर्णविद्योज्जटा कलापः
भस्मावगुन्तामलरुक्मदेहो
भस्मावगुण्ठामलरुक्मदेहो
देवस्त्रिभिः पश्यति देवरस्ते
देवस्त्रिभिः पश्यति देवरस्ते. Translation: Lord Shiva's body is reddish and he is unstained, but he is covered with ashes. His hair is dusty from the whirlwind dust of the burning crematorium. He is the younger brother of your husband and he sees with his three eyes. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, some of the other attributes of Lord Shiva are mentioned here. Lord Shiva has shining metal locks, scattered by whirlwinds full of dust and smoke from the crematorium. He has a spotless golden body covered with ashes. He sees with three eyes. He is your brother-in-law. Lord Shiva has shining locks of matted hair scattered by whirlwind of dust and smoke from the crematorium. So Lord Shiva is said to be residing in crematorium. So since crematorium is filled with lot of ash piles everywhere, and he might be sitting some corner and doing meditation, because of the wind, when the from the ash piles, the ash comes out, and whoever is there on the way, it will stick onto them. So Lord Shiva is there on the way doing meditation. So all the ash particles come and stuck onto his body, transcendental body. His body shines like gold, but is covered with ashes. Originally, his complexion is like that of gold, Rukma, but his golden body is completely covered with ash particles. And another attribute, he sees with three eyes. Lord Shiva sees this entire universe with the help of three eyes. He is the three-eyed Lord Rudra. So one eye is moon, one eye is sun, and other eye is fire. So in the daytime, there is sunlight, he sees through sunlight. In the night time, when there is moonlight, he sees through moonlight. When there is no moonlight, such as Amavasya and other days, there is a light lantern. Through that lantern, he sees. That means he is seeing everyone at all times. Because of this, he immediately bestowed the results of offense. So Kasyapa is trying to create fear in Aditi. So he sees with three eyes. So right now it is Sandhya time. Neither sun is there nor moon is there. But his three eyes, fire, lamps are nearby here and there. You will see that fire lamp. Then she says, but he is without relation to me, unknown. I mean, I have no connection to him. Why does he show any good or bad favoritism or punishment to him? Yes, he is busy with his business. I am busy with my business. So why do you need to worry about Shiva? So then he says that Kashyapa says that no, he is your brother-in-law. You cannot say that he is not related to me. He is your brother-in-law. Your brother-in-law should be treated as my brother. Thus, he is my brother and your brother-in-law. Because Diti and Sati both are sisters. Sati's husband and Diti's husband will be like brothers. Should you not be shy in front of him? So how can you say that he has no relation to me? He has a relation to you, and that relation is also at the level of brother-in-law, and you should be shy in front of him. This is the time of him. He is wandering here and there. and you cannot be indifferent to his presence. So like that, Kashyapa is trying to create little bit fear so that she will wait till night. But no, she says that I have said farewell to shyness and fear since I am suffering. Even you should not be afraid. Lord Shiva should forgive you for everything since you are his relative and respected by your greatness. So she said that, my dear husband, forget about all these things. I am terribly disturbed by not having a son. But in your presence, I developed a strong desire to have a son immediately. Because in the case of Devatas, as soon as they come together, as soon as the male and female unite, within a Muhurta time, the child is born. And within another Muhurta, the child becomes 16 years old, Kaishwar Avastha, youthful person, boy or girl, whatever we can say. So in that way, she said that I want to have a child right now. It is just a activity of two muhurtas. It's not that they need to wait for 9 months pregnancy period and then wait for 16 years for the child to grow up to become 16 years old. By not like that. Everything happens in no time. Within 1 2 muhurtas, everything is done. So in that way, she is insisting that, my dear husband, you come here to my ashram today, and again when we will come back, I don't know. I don't want to waste this opportune moment. So please bestow me with a son. So for don't worry about Lord Shiva. You say Lord Shiva is like your brother. So brother will show compassion upon other brother. He will not punish brother. He will not show. And you are not only ordinary person, you are also a great person. You are worshipped by everyone. So Lord Shiva will consider that and he will not do any harm to you. Like that she said. Then Kashyapa says, yeah, some other devotee can unmute and repeat after me. Nayasya loke swajana parova
न यस्य लोके स्वजनः परो वा
नित्यादृतो नोटकश्चिद्विगर्ह्य
नित्याधृतो नोत कश्चिद् विगर्यः
वयं वृतैर्यचरणापविद्धाम्
वयं व्रतर्यः चरणापविद्धा
आशास्महे जाम्बत भुक्तभोगाम्
आशास्महे जाम्बत भुक्तभोगाम्. Lord Shiva regards no one as his relative, yet there is no one who is not connected with him. He does not regard anyone as very favorable or abominable. We respectfully worship the remnants of his foodstuff and we vow to accept what is rejected by him. Hare Krishna.
So here Kashyapa is saying that Lord Shiva has no relative, nor does he reject anyone. It is not that okay, he has no relative, he sees everyone equally. Samoham sarvabhuteshu namedvesho sinapriyaha. And so even though if he thinks that okay, somebody is my relative, still he does not reject them. He does not show favoritism to such people. He does not worship or condemn anybody. That's why Lord Shiva is known as Ashutosh. He is very easily pleased with anyone and everyone. Performing vows to fulfill our desires, we aspire for his food remnants filled with his power, which are rejected by his feet. And Kashyapa says that, and see our condition. You may say that we are also well known people, well great people in this world, but for Shiva, we always pray that we will get some of his food remnants, which are endowed with his causeless mercy and which are rejected by his feet. So, one meaning is that directly food remnants, Bhukta Bhogan, Ashash Mahejam, Bhukta Bhogan. Whatever he has eaten, we want the remnants of that. So, that is one remnants is direct food remnants, and other remnants of Lord Shiva is Ganga. We always desire to be in the banks of Ganga so that we can do our daily ritualistic performances, everything properly. So that is also the remnant from Lord Shiva. That's how Kashyapa is trying to incite fear and also respect towards Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva considers no one is relative since he shows equality to all people being the Lord. He describes Lord Shiva's greatness. We pray for Lord Shiva's enjoyed Mahaprasada remnants filled with Lord Shiva's power, which are rejected like an old garland by his feet. Having desires to fulfill by vows, let us be enjoyers of his remnants. So, in order to get his mercy, we perform severe vows, we undertake severe austerities. And you say that no need to worry about Lord Shiva. What is this? Not at all appropriate. We should be considerate about Lord Shiva's presence in the sky with the Bhuta Preta Pishashas, etc. Then he continues, Kashyapa continues to incite much little more fear in the heart of Diti. यस्यानवद्या यस्यानवद्या चरितं मनीषिणो
यस्यानवद्या
चरितं मनीषिणो
गृह्णन्त विद्यापटलं बिभिस्तव
गृह्णन्त विद्यापटलं बिभत्सवा
निरस्तसाम्यातिशयोऽपि यस्वयम्
निरस्तसाम्या अतिशयोऽपि यत्स्वयम्
पिशाचर्यामचरद्गतिः सताम्
पिशाचर्यामचरत् गति सताम्. Although no one in the material world is equal to or greater than Lord Shiva, and although his impeachable character is followed by great souls to dismantle the mass of naissance, he nevertheless remains as if a devil to give salvation to all devotees of the Lord.
The intelligent, desiring to destroy piles of ignorance, worship Lord Shiva, who has spotless character and who has no one equal. But though he is the goal of the saints, he acts like a ghost. Pishachacharyam acharet gativstam. So unintelligent people will say that Lord Shiva is constantly engaged in sexual relationships with naked women and smears his body with ashes from the crematorium. So people who are ignorant of the glories of Lord Shiva might say that, so what kind of person is he? His whole body is filled with ashes from the crematorium. He stays in crematorium. He always engaged in the association of women, etc., etc. However, hear the truth from me. The intelligent respect his character, which is spotless. Foolish will deride his character, but the intelligent will respect his character. They become liberated from the material world by worshipping him. The intelligent people who respect the character of Lord Shiva and they will attain liberation from material world by worshipping Lord Shiva. So in the previously also during the 5th chapter we discussed elaborately about Sadashiva. Sadashiva is the direct expansion of Mahavishnu and he stays in Brahman. He is the Lord of Brahman and he is acting as the Dwarapal for Vaikunta, Dham Rakshaka of Vaikunta abode. So in one sense, those people who aspire to attain Sahajya Mukti, they generally take shelter of Lord Shiva, they worship Lord Shiva. That since Lord Shiva is the Lord of Brahman, Brahmajyoti. So he will also assist such kind of worshippers to attain Kaivalya Mukti, Sahajya Mukti. So in that way. The intelligent people thus understanding the true nature of Lord Shiva, they respect him very highly and by worshipping him, they also attain liberation, Sahajya Mukti. Thus, Lord Shiva is the goal of the elevated souls and he has no equal since he is one with the Lord. So Lord in one sense, Lord Shiva, that is Sadashiva, and Mahavishnu. They are one and the same. They are one and different, simultaneously one and also different. Achintya Beda Beda. They, we can't see any distinction between them. At the same time, they are also not same also. That is there. So from this point of view, he is the goal of elevated souls. He has no equal. Hari is one with the Lord. Hari is completely renounced, seeing everything equally. So these are some symptoms of Lord Shiva. So don't think that he is an ordinary person. The though externally seeing, externally looking, he seems to be living in crematorium. His whole body is filled with ashes of the crematorium, and he may be in the association of women, and then yeah, he seems to be like a madman, etc., etc. But that is not the case. The intelligent people understand it. Later on, in the 10th canto, 18th chapter, this question is asked by Parashit Maharaj. So, my dear sir, why it is so? Lord Vishnu is Lakshmipati, full of opulences, and his devotees are poverty stricken. And Lord Shiva himself stays in Smashan, wearing deer skin and ashes upon his entire body. And then his devotees are wealthy. Whoever comes to Lord Shiva, he says, yeah, take this, dhanan dehi, ye dehi, wo dehi. Sab kuch milte hai. So Lord Shiva's devotees are full of wealth and Lord Shiva himself is poverty stricken. So how do we understand this? How this will happen? So one solution, I was thinking that, but of course, the Prabhupada writes also in the 10th canto as in the Krishna book, as well as here in this particular purport, today's purport. The Prabhupada says that the Lord Shiva understood the essence of life. Essence of life is to practice bhakti and constantly meditate upon the glories of Supreme Lord. So the Lord Shiva is doing that. If his other places is getting disturbed by others, so he came and made his residence in Smashan. And he is constantly engaged in meditating upon the pastimes of Supreme Lord. When people come asking for some material blessings, he will say quickly, I take this blessing and go away, don't disturb me, don't stay here for long and don't disturb me. I am busy with my meditation. That's why, in order to stay away from these bothering people, Lord Shiva awards whatever they want quickly. Yeah, but take this and go away, take this and go away, don't disturb me. But if really some nice devotee of Lord Vishnu comes to Lord Shiva actually comes out of his meditation and spends time with them and takes their association, gives his association to them. So this is how Lord Shiva deals with the devotees and with others. So these are some of the qualities of Lord Shiva, some of the attributes of Lord Shiva. So in a way, by speaking the wonderful glories of Lord Shiva, Kasyapa is trying to invoke some kind of fear and shyness in the mind of Diti. Then Kasyapa further will say, all of you are able to follow Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hari bol.
Yes,
Ah,
Prabhuji.
Yes.
If any question is there, please stop me. असन्ति यस्या चरितं हि दुर्भगा
हसन्ति यस्या चरितं हि दुर्भगा
स्वात्मन् रतस्या विदुषा समीहितम्
स्वात्मन् रतस्या विदुषा समिहितम्
यैर्वस्त्यमाल्याभरणानुलेपनै
येर्वस्त्रमाल्याभरणानुलेपनै
स्वभोजनं स्वात्मतयोपलालितम्
स्वभोजनां स्वात्मतायोपलालितम्. Translation: Unfortunate foolish persons, not knowing that he is engaged in his own self, laugh at him. Such foolish persons engage in maintaining the body, which is eatable by dogs, with dresses, ornaments, garlands, and ointments.
Yeah, then Kashyapa says that those who are unfortunate and do not know the intention of Lord Shiva laugh at him, though he is meditating on Krishna. They pamper their bodies fit to be eaten by dogs after death. How they pamper their bodies? With clothing, garlands, ornaments, and cosmetics, thinking those bodies to be the self. So in the previous verse, it is said that Pishachacharyam, like a ghostly personality, Lord Shiva resides in Smashan and wearing deer skin, and rest of his body is filled with crematorium ashes, and is there meditating upon the Supreme Lord. So, and lot of women are also sitting with him. People say that what is this kind of what this person is always with women only, and in the smashan there is no hygiene. How can he be the god or something like that? People may say. So in the previous verse, it is said that the foolish will think about Lord Shiva like that. The intelligent will understanding the real position of Lord Shiva, who is not different from Mahavishnu. By worshipping Lord Shiva, they attain Kaivalya. In addition to these two category people, there are third category people who are the most unfortunate person. They, in spite of seeing Lord Shiva, but without not able to understand the Lord Shiva's intention. Just now we said, what is the intention of Lord Shiva? He is always meditating on Krishna. The intention is the purpose of human life or purpose of any life in this material world is to constantly meditate upon Lord's pastimes. So, in order to do that in a better way, yes, they considered Prasmashan to be the best place. He's doing it, but looking at him, people will make comments upon him. So, but on the other hand, these unfortunate people, they approach Lord Shiva for material blessings. For what purpose? In order to pamper their material bodies, which are meant to be eaten by dogs and hogs at the time of death. After death, if the bodies are thrown away, they'll be eaten by eagles, vultures, dogs, hogs, etc., etc., or the insects eventually. But people who are pampering their bodies by clothing, ornaments, garlands, cosmetics, and whatnot in the nowadays, with all the things, they are trying to pamper their body instead of utilizing their body for meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his pastimes, etc. Which Lord Shiva is actually doing. Apana Acharati Sabashikaila Prabhu. So basically, an Acharya, a leader, he himself follows and then teaches everyone else. So Lord Shiva, when people come to ask for blessings, he said that okay, take this and go away. But he himself, what he is doing? The people don't ask that what he is doing and why he is doing. Instead, they ask whatever they want, money, this, that. The Lord Shiva says, take all those things, but go away from me. But he himself is staying in the smashan and then is not pampering his body, simply smearing his body with ashes of the crematorium. He is continuously meditating on the Supreme Lord. So this is what he is doing, and he, by his own achar is indicating to all of us. Those who criticize Lord Shiva become bound up in this material world. The unfortunate, those who get no mercy, who are without knowledge of intention of Lord Shiva, who is meditating on Lord Krishna, laugh at him. Lord Shiva thinks all scents, flowers, clothing, and ornaments are all meant for the worship of the Supreme Lord, my master. I should not enjoy what should be offered to my Lord. Lord Shiva thinks that all these wonderful and beautiful things of this world should be offered to my Lord in worship. How can I take? If something I get as Mahaprasad, I will take, but I will not take them for my own enjoyment. That's why Lord Shiva stays in Smashan. The unfortunate take the food fit to be eaten by dogs to be the self, and thus pamper it with cloth, garlands, ornaments, and cosmetics. So unfortunate people are only interested in their own bodily sense gratification. They can't understand what is the teaching that Lord Shiva trying to give all of us by his personal behavior and personal conduct. So like that. And this is the last verse spoken by Kasyapa in order to console his wife Diti. So please repeat after me. Brahmadaya yat kritasetu pala
ब्रह्मादयो यत्कृतसेतुपाला
यत्कारणं विश्वमिदं च माया
यत्कारणं विश्वमिदं च माया
अज्ञाकरीयस्य पिशाचचर्या
अज्ञाकरी यस्य पिशाचचर्या
अहो विभुम्नश्चरितं विडम्बनम्
अहो विभुम्नाश्चरितं विदम्बनम्. Translation: Demigods like Brahma also follow the religious rites observed by him. He is the controller of the material energy, which causes the creation of the material world. He is great, and therefore his devilish characteristics are simply imitation.
Yeah, even Lord Brahma and others observe the rules created by him. He is the cause of this universe, and Maya is dependent on him, following his order. So here two things are there. All the great personas like Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, all observe the rules created by Lord Shiva. They follow Lord Shiva. They respect and they serve as per the dictates given by Lord Shiva. He is the cause of this universe. So here you see, Lord Shiva and Mahavishnu are seen as non-different from each other. Even it was Mahavishnu when he glanced upon Prakriti, the glance carried Kala, that Kala transformed itself into Mahakala, Mahakala Rupa, Mahakala Purusha. That Mahakala Purusha is Sadashiva. And when the Sadashiva united with Prakriti, that is the beginning of creation. So he is the creator of the universe. No issue, no problem. And he is the creator of the universe, and Maya is dependent on him, following following Lord Shiva's order, because Maya is his wife. But he is the creator, he is the lord of the Maya, and he is the rules giver. And the devatas like Brahma and Brahma, Indra, etc., they follow the rules given by him. But he himself acts like a ghost. That is actually surprising. That is only to bewilder the less intelligent people. This great lord is only appearing to be like a ghost. He is actually not a ghost. He only acting like a ghost, so that he will not be disturbed by people in general from his normal act of meditating upon Lord's pastimes. So that is his most cherished activity of meditating on the Supreme Lord's pastimes. Because people constantly may disturb him, he goes to crematorium, makes his residence there, and acts like a merry man. So there is no one in comparison to Lord Shiva. Brahma and others observe the rules made by him about associating with women during the twilight, about eating, sleeping, or passing nature at that time, etc. So especially here, Kashyapa is talking about what kind of rules. There are rules for different times and different time periods, different places, etc. But especially there are special rules for the evening pillar time. That these rules are followed by all the devatas such as Brahma also. So how can you say that I don't have to follow the rules created by Lord Shiva? So please wait. Let us respect and follow the rules of Lord Shiva, which are being followed by Lord Brahma also. So Lord Shiva is the cause of the universe, and Maya is dependent on him. His conduct as a ghost is only surprising. It is only imitation. It is an imitation performed by this great Lord alone. It is not actually real. It is only imitation of the Supreme Lord. So that is how Kashyapa, with his words, trying to appease and also trying to create some kind of fear in the heart of Diti. So whether Diti really took it seriously and stopped pestering her husband, or still continued to pester her husband, will be revealed in the next verses. Okay, any questions till now?
No, Prabhuji.
Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Shaivam Samvidate Bharta
Saivam Samvidite Bhartra
Manmaturnmantitendriya
Manmaton Matti Tendriya
Matitendriya Jara
Hitendriya
Jagrahavaso Brahmarsher
Jagrahavaso Brahmarsher
Purusha Tatrapa.
Vrishaliva Gatatrapa. Translation. Maitreya said, Diti was thus informed by her husband, but she was pressed by Cupid for sexual satisfaction. She caught hold of the clothing of the great Brahmana sage, just like a shameless public prostitute.
Yeah, Maitreya says, though hearing all this from her husband, Diti, her senses afflicted by lust, without shame like a prostitute, grabbed the cloth of her husband. Even though she was thus informed by her husband, she acted like a prostitute, or because only her husband informed her, she acted like a prostitute. So, even though Kashyapa spoke so many things, since it is wife and husband only, she said, it's okay, that is all fine, but I want child right now. So, I am not in a position to listen to any other instructions. So, she insisted that she should have a child immediately. Lust devours discrimination, which is shown by this by self-respect. So, out of self-respect, people remain modesty. They feel shy, ashamed of anything to do in front of everyone, and they remain calm. So, but uh, the if somebody is afflicted by lust so much, the discrimination will fade away. There are two examples. In the 12th chapter, there was an example of Brahma, and here in the 14th chapter, there is an example of Diti. Even though people as great as Brahma and Diti also, sometimes because of circumstances, can be afflicted by one of the anarthas. So it is very difficult. It is not that these anarthas can be controlled very easily, very quickly. So she said, my dear husband, no way. You may say so many things, but I am not sure of your presence and your fulfillment of my vow, of my desire. If I wait for some time, right now, I want you to fulfill my desire of giving me a child, because she will have child in 1 or 2 muhurtas only. It is not that she has to wait for 9 months and then she will have child. Not like that. It can take place immediately in some time. She is asking. He is asking. She is asking actually. So we shall have a son. Don't worry about Lord Shiva. He will not harm you. So he has enemy, but he will not harm you. So then she actually, he was sitting on the yajna, sacrificial arena. He was just performing yajna. Whether it is complete or still going on, we don't know. But he was sitting in that yajna, evening sacrificial rites. She was pulling him with the lower clothes. Till now, she was only speaking words that I want to have a child immediately. Now she actually pulling him with the by the cloth. So he has to listen to her. He has to get up from the sacrificial arena and then beget a child through her. Even though he spoke so many things, he said, by all these things, my desire to have a child is only increasing. It is not reducing. So you should come and fulfill my request. Immediately, no waiting till night, like that. He was insisting upon that. So then what happened? Saviditva bharyaya
Sa viditva taparyayas
tam nirbandham vikramani
tam
sarvikarmani
tam nirbandham vikarmani
natvadishta rahasi
natvadishtaya rahasi
तयोतोपविशेषथि
tayoto paviveshahi. Translation. Understanding his wife's purpose, he was obliged to perform the forbidden act. And thus, after offering his obeisances unto the worshipable fate, he lay with her in a secluded place.
Yeah. Understanding the obstinacy of his wife for this sinful act, Vikarma, bowing to his fate, he united with her in a private place. Dishtya means unto the fate. So unto the destiny, he offered obeisances. So whatever you wish to happen, that will happen. No things are not in my control. So he united with her, and then in the next verse says that after the union, he came back and took bath, and then he again resumed his evening sacrificial ritual that is indicated. Atopasprishya salilam
अतोपस्पृश्या सलिलम्
pranan ayamya vagyata
प्राणान् आयम्य वाग्यता
yayan jajapa virajam
ध्यायन् जजाप विरजम्
brahma jyoti sanatanam.
ब्रह्मज्योति सनातनम्. Translation. Thereafter the Brahmana took his bath in the water and controlled his speech by practicing trance, meditating on the eternal effulgence, and chanting the holy Gayatri hymns within his mouth.
So after this, bathing and performing achamana, controlling his breath and speech, and meditating, he chanted the pure eternal Gayatri mantra full of knowledge. So he took bath and performed evening purificatory activities, and then performed Gayatri mantra, and then he did Gayatri, and then he sat in the sacrificial arena. So he resumed his evening activities. After that, bathing and performing achamana, he chanted Om or Gayatri, Brahma Gayatri, etc. So then what happened? Just the way Kasyapa bathed and again resumed his evening sacrificial duties. Similarly, Diti also bathed and she came in front of Kasyapa and she begs forgiveness. That will be mentioned in the next verse. Ditistu viridita
दितिस्तु व्रीडिता तेन
karma vadyena bharata
कर्मावद्येन भारत
upasangamya viprarshim
उपसंगम्य विप्रर्षिम्
ado mukti abhyabhasata.
अधो मुक्ति अव्यभासत. Translation. O son of Bharata family, Diti, after this, went nearer to her husband, her face lowered because of her faulty action. She spoke as follows.
O Bharata, shamed by her faulty action, Diti approached the Brahmana sage and spoke with lowered head. So now she became calm and peaceful. She understood that, yeah, I was too much pestering upon my husband. She was feeling a little bit shame. And she took bath and came in front of her husband, matlab same sacrificial arena. And she will speak. She will beg forgiveness and she will speak. She express her mistake that will be mentioned in the next three verses. Ditir uvacha
Ditiruvacha
Ditiruvacha
name garbham imam brahman
Name garbham imam brahman
bhutanam vrishabho vadi
Bhutanam Rishabho Vadi
rudraha patirhi bhutanam
Rudraha Patirhi Bhutanam
yasya karavamam hasam.
Yasya Karavam Hasam. Translation. The beautiful Diti said, my dear Brahman, kindly see that my embryo is not killed by Lord Shiva, the Lord of all living entities, because of the great offense I have committed against him. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, he says, may the great Lord of living entities, Rudra, Lord of the ghost, Bhutanath, Bhutanam Rishabho, whom I have offended, not kill the child in my womb. So, my dear husband, you told that this is the time of Lord Shiva, this is not the right time for begetting children. So, but somehow or other, I insisted upon that. I'll pray that may Lord Shiva do not kill my embryo, do not destroy my embryo, because she was so much after having a child. So, she is concerned about child only. So, then the first verse, she was speaking to her husband. She was praying to her husband that let Shiva do not destroy my embryo. The next, now current verse, she says she will directly pray to Lord Shiva. Namo Rudraya Mahate,
Namo
नमो
Rudraya
रुद्राय
Mahate.
महते
Deva Yograya Medushe,
Deva Yoga.
देवायोग्राय मूढधे
Shivaya Nastya Dandaya,
शिवायन्यस्य दण्डाय
Drita Dandaya Manyave.
धृतदण्डाय मन्यवे. Translation: Let me offer my obeisances unto the angry Lord Shiva, who is simultaneously the very vicious great demigod and the fulfiller of all material desires. He is all auspicious and forgiving, but his anger can immediately move him to chastise.
Yeah. Now she is offering praise to Lord Shiva directly. I offer my humble respects to Lord Shiva, Rudra, who will make me weep, but who can also remove my sorrow. Rudra has two meanings. Rudra means he who gives uh, uh, what is it? Misery to somebody so that they will weep, or he who removes misery from somebody so that they will become happy. Who is a great Lord but fierce, Ugraya, who is compassionate, auspicious, and avoids punishing the sinful. Shivaya Nastya Dandaya Dandaya Manyave, but who is capable of punishing when full of anger. Dandaya Manyave, when he is angry, will punish, but Shivaya Nastya Dandaya, he is auspicious and he also uh, like he does not take such things so seriously and does not punish people just like that. He ignores some mistakes. Shriti gives the proof for her repentance. Lord Shiva will make me weep, but he will also remove my sorrow. There are two meanings to Rudra. So, as they mentioned in the previous verse, may Lord Shiva do not destroy my womb. By destroying my womb, Lord Shiva can make me weep. By protecting my womb, by allowing my womb to grow, Lord may give me happiness. So that's why she's calling him as Rudra. So Rudra has two meanings. And then, since he is a great Lord, he will forgive my offense. So Lord Shiva is a great Lord, Medushe. So he is Devaya. He is the Devata, he is the head of all the Devatas. So he will not take my offense so seriously. He will forgive. But since he is fierce, he will destroy my child also. He Dandaya Mannave. Because he becomes angry very quickly, very easily. So he can punish my child also. So whatever it is, I am offering my obeisances to Lord Shiva so that Lord Shiva show compassion upon me. So she is attracting the compassionate mood of Lord Shiva towards her and child. Yet Lord Shiva is liberal, so he will sprinkle the creeper of my desire with mercy, since he is auspicious, devoid of giving punishment. Then she said that Lord Shiva is actually very liberal. He is eager to award blessings, the fulfillment of desires of anybody who approaches him. Similarly, I am also approaching Lord Shiva for a child. So let Lord Shiva do not destroy my child. Instead, let him bless me with a child. But still, he will punish me since he is the personification of anger. So he is independent, he can punish, but at the same time, he is also compassionate. So he will forgive my offense. So she is stating all the possible things, but she is also seeking for the forgiveness and also for the compassion of Lord Shiva. Then, with full of worry, she praises Lord Shiva, showing her humility. Then she prayed for removal of her fear. Now she offers another prayer. So let me be blessed with a child. Let my womb do not be destroyed by Lord Shiva. Like that, she is offering final prayer. Sana prasidatam brahm bhamo
Sana prasidatam bhamo
Bhagavan uru anugraha
Bhagavan uru anugraha
vyadasyapi anukampyanam
Vyadhasya pya anukampanam
Srinam deva satipat dev Srinam devaha satipatihi.
Srinam devah satipati. Translation. Let me be pleased, let him be pleased with us, since he is my brother-in-law, the husband of my sister Sati. He is also the worshipable Lord of all women. He is the personality of all opulence and can show mercy towards women who are excused even by the uncivilized hunter.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
May powerful Lord Shiva, my brother-in-law, merciful, who is merciful even to the hunters, the master of women who are objects of compassion, the husband of Sati, be pleased with me. So she is saying that Lord Shiva is merciful to Bhuta, Preta, Pishasha, Rakshasa, Uruga, and also the less intelligent hunters. I am a simple woman with a desire to have a child. I made a mistake. So may Lord Shiva do not take it seriously. And more than that, Lord Shiva is the husband of my sister. At least with that, Lord Shiva should be considerate and should not punish me. Like that, she is praying to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the husband of her sister and full of mercy even to those with no mercy. So Vyadasya means hunter. So hunters are said to be people without mercy because they are killing animals without compassion. Even for such hunters also Lord Shiva is merciful. And even to the hunters who are merciless, Lord Shiva is merciful upon them. So I am not like hunters. I am very good compared to hunters. So I should not be punished. Lord Shiva should show compassion upon me. So like that, she is telling. He is the husband of Sati and thus knows the nature of women. Or this also suggests that by the intervention of Sati, Lord Shiva will not punish me, his sister-in-law, or Sati will pardon my offense. Let my sister Sati should actually excuse my mistake and beg forgiveness from Lord Shiva on my behalf. And Lord Shiva is also the husband of a woman who is my sister own. So Lord Shiva also knows the nature of women. So he should forgive me. So like that, various possible cases he is presenting so that she will be forgiven, her mistake will be ignored, and she will be blessed with child. That was her prayer. Then Kashyapa will respond. Looking at all these things, what all happened till now, Kashyapa will respond now. Kashyapa uvacha, Maitreya uvacha,
मैत्रेय उवाच
स्वसर्गस्याशिशुं स्वसर्गस्याशिशं लोक्याम्
स्वसर्गस्याशिषं लोक्याम्
आसासानां प्रवेपतीम्
आशासानां प्रवेपतीम्
निवृत्तसन्ध्या नियमो
निवृत्तसन्ध्या नियमो
भार्याम् आहा प्रजापतिः.
भार्याम् आह प्रजापतिः. Translation. Maitreya said, the great sage Kashyapa thus addressed his wife, who was trembled because of fear that her husband was offended. She understood that he had been dissuaded from his daily duties of offering even evening prayer. Yet she desired the welfare of her children in the world.
Maitreya said, Kashyapa, whose evening vow has been interrupted then spoke to his trembling wife, worthy of compassion by the world, who was praying for blessings for her offspring. Swa Sargasya means her own offspring, her own children. Lokaya means worthy of the world's mercy. So here it is said that she is being a woman with a desire to have a child. So she insisted that she should have a child immediately. So that should not be taken very seriously. She should be forgiven like that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, 1 minute, 1 minute. I'll... Kashyapa Uvacha.
Kasyapa uvacha
Aprayatyad Atmanaste
aprayastat atmanaste
Doshan Mohurtikaduta
doshan muhurtikad uta
Man Nideshati Charena
mannidesha chitarena
Devanam Chati Helanat
devanam chati helanat. Translation.
Bhavishyatastava Bhadrav
Bhavishyatastava badra
Abhadre Jataradamau
abhadre jataradhamau
Lokan Sapalam Strim Chandi
lokan sapalam strim chandandi
Muhur Arkada Ishyata
muhur akrandayas akrandayishyata. Translation. The land Kashyapa said, because of your minds being polluted, because of defilement of the particular time, because of your negligence of my directions, and because of your being apathetic to the demigods, everything was inauspicious. O hasty one, you will have two contemptuous sons born of your condemned womb. Unlucky women, they will cause constant lamentation to all the three worlds.
So here it is said that he will actually analytically say, what is the problem? Kashyapa says, O unfortunate woman, because of the impurity of your mind, because of the fault of the time, because of the discard for my instructions, huh? and because of the discard for Lord Shiva, two inauspicious, low sons will be born to you, O passionate woman. They will constantly afflict the three worlds and the Devata in charges. So Kashyapa will predict. Kashyapa is actually predicting what is going to happen because you insisted upon having a child instantly, immediately there and there itself. And though I told this is not the right time, the Lord Shiva will be roaming around, all these things, but you did not listen to any of these things. As a result of that, you will have two inauspicious sons who will be the cause of trouble to entire world. So as I mentioned here, 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 4 reasons Kasyapa actually analyzes. What is the first reason? Because of the impurity of your mind, that you have desired to have children at an inappropriate time, you will have 2 sons of cruel mindedness. Because the time is not appropriate and the intention was also not appropriate, and you will also have 2 children with bad intention, with cruel mindset. Because that was your mindset at the time of desiring the children. You will have similar children. Because of the fault of choosing a terrible time at the twilight, you will have 2 terribly ferocious sons. In the twilight hour, the evening sandhya lasts for 2 gatikas. 2 into, actually gatika is 24 minutes. 2 into 24 will be 48 minutes. It is a mistake, not 2 into 48, 2 into 24. It will be total 48 minutes. So actually one muhurta will have 2 gatikas. So during that evening muhurta time, you insisted that you should have children. So one muhurta will last for 2 gatikas. You will have 2 terrible children. And then, because of ignoring my instructions, you will have 2 sons who do not respect the laws of dharma. So husband, who is a dharma parayan, who is following dharma, gave an instruction, please wait till night. You did not follow that. You did not follow your husband. You did not follow the instruction of your husband. That means you did not follow dharma. So your children will be the non-followers of dharma. They don't respect dharma. And finally, because you have ignored, because of ignoring the form of Lord Shiva, those sons will be haters of the Supreme Lord. Because you ignored Lord Shiva. I told this is the time where Lord Shiva travels here and there. It is not the appropriate time for us to have children. But you insisted upon that. Just the way you ignored Lord Shiva, your children will ignore the Supreme Lord, Lord Vishnu. They will never show any respect towards Lord Vishnu. So these are the 4 causes, as a result of which the 4 causes at the time of Garbhadana Samskar will lead to such kind of children. So this chapter we can see how Garbhadana Samskar is also very important in order to invite the auspicious children. Oh unfortunate women, the inauspicious action of your sons will spread everywhere. These 2 low sons will be born from your womb. Because of their individual and collective faults, they will afflict the 3 worlds. They will actually trouble the entire universe filled with so many other personalities, other living entities. Oh passionate woman, Chandi, because of expressing passion in spite of my words of dharma, you will receive this result. You are a reservoir of lust and anger. Kasyapa also shows his anger towards his wife. So Kasyapa in a way saying that, see, your desire is so adamant, you are so adamant to have children at this wrong time. As a result of that, you are going to have children who will trouble the entire universe, who will torture the entire universe. You will torture the animals, the humans and devatas, everyone will be troubled by the children whom you are going to bear as a result of your strong insistence of having children at the wrong time. So Kashyapa also expresses his anger upon Diti. So like that. Next, how, in what way they will cause trouble to the entire universe? That Kashyapa tells in detail in the next 2 verses. Praninam hanyamananam
प्राणीनां हन्यमानानां
दीनानाम makridagasam
दीनानाम् अकृतगासां
स्त्रीणाम निगृह्यमानानाम
स्त्रीणां निगृह्यमानानां
कोपितेषु महात्मसु
कोपितेषु महात्मसु
तदा विश्वेश्वरा क्रुद्धो
तदा विश्वेश्वरा क्रुद्धो
भगवाल्लोकभावनः
भगवाल्लोकभावनः
अनिष्यति अवतीर्यासौ
अनिष्यति अवतीर्यासौ
Yatadrin Shataparvadrug.
Yatadrin Sata Parvadrik. Translation: they will kill poor, faultless living entities, torture women, and enrage the great souls. At that time, the Lord of the universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the well-wisher of all living entities, will descend and kill them, just as Indra smashes the mountains with his thunderbolts.
When the sinless, powerless living entities are killed by these two sons of yours, when the women are imprisoned by them, and when the great souls become angry, the Supreme Lord of the entire universe, promoting the welfare of the entire universe, will appear in this world and kill them, just as Indra strikes a mountain with a thunderbolt. When the saintly are disturbed, when the saintly are troubled, huh? And when the innocent are tortured, when the women are imprisoned, huh? When the saintly beings are little angry with him, then the Supreme Lord will appear and kill them. So this is how they will be delivered. Kashyapa predicting this also. This is what will happen in the future because of your act. How long will they live? Please listen. Shata Parvadruk mean the holder of the thunderbolt Indra. They will live till the time the great sages becomes angry. After torturing and troubling the innocent people and women and also the great devatas and saintly beings, and the saintly beings really become angry, when these atrocities are intolerable, when they become angry, then the Supreme Lord will appear and then kill those two sons of yours. So like that. You are able to follow till now? Any questions? Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji, Hari Bol.
No, Prabhuji. No question.
No,
Hare
wait,
Krishna.
wait. Yes, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare
प्रभु जी
Krishna.
ये अदिति के जो दो पुत्र थे वो असुर कहलाए तो उन्होंने तो दो ही पुत्र को जन्म दिया था तो बाकी जो असुर है उनके ही पुत्र है क्या?
No. There is one more lady also. Her name is Danu. तो दिति का संतान को कहा गया दैत्यास.
अच्छा.
And धनु का संतान को कहा गया दानवा. तो दैत्य दानवा. So these two are combined together known as asuras. So Hiranyakashipu, though they are two people, but they will have many children, na? They will have so many children. So we only know, generally we hear that Hiranyakashipu had Prahlada. But in addition to Prahlada, Hiranyakashipu had many other sons through Kayadu. So he might have had many wives. It is not that he only had one wife.
Okay.
Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha might have had many wives and they all might have many children. So it is a big family. The entire family and their entire lineage of lineage is called Asuras. But the beginning are two children, two only. At the beginning are two are there.
प्रभु जी एक क्वेश्चन है बट इट माइट बी सिली पूछो कि नहीं मुझे पता नहीं है. See, in the case of Diti is desire, but Kashyap Muni he is also that much involved, na? So how we can say only Diti's fault is there?
See, he told her, this is not the right time, please wait. But she insisted, no. See, now thing is that he had 17 wives. She already made a false allegation. We 17 of us chose you as our husband, our father gave us, and it is your responsibility to look after us equally. You have neglected me. All my co-wives have children. I alone did not have any children. So she already made a false allegation upon him. So somehow he has to listen. What can be done? He will have the providence.
Okay. ठीक है. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Titiruvacha. Padam Bhagavata Sakshat सुनाबोधार
Vadam
बाहुना
Bhagavata.
वदं भगवता साक्षात्
सुनाबोधार बाहुना
सुनाबोधारबाहुना
आशासे पुत्रयोर्मह्यम्
आशासे पुत्रयोर्मह्यं
मा क्रुद्धात् ब्राह्मणात् प्रभो
मा क्रुद्धात् ब्राह्मणात् प्रभो. Translation. Diti said, "It is very good that my sons will be magnanimously killed by the arms of the personhood of Godhead with his Sudarshan weapon. O my husband, may they never be killed by the wrath of the Brahmana devotees."
Ditis says, O Lord, I desire the death of my sons by the Lord, whose excellent arms holds the chakra. I do not desire that they die from the curse of a Brahmana. Because in the previous verse it is said that when the great souls become angry, the Supreme Lord of the universe appear and kill them. So when she heard that, okay, they should not be cursed by any Brahmanas because cursed by Brahmanas is actually very dangerous than being killed by the Lord. If somebody is being killed by the Lord, they will attain liberation. If somebody is cursed by the Brahmanas, they will never ever attain perfection. So that is very difficult. So that's why he says that I desire the death of my sons by the Supreme Lord, not by the curse of the Brahmanas. Let that be. My sons will see the Lord with upraised, beautiful arm holding the chakra. They will be fortunate. Though unavoidably killed by the Lord, they will be liberated from the all sins by being killed by the Lord. I also desire liberation. As the mother of such sons, though I have not seen the Lord yet, I will see him by my relationship to these sons. So, because he is trying to see good in even the bad thing, even though they are going to trouble the entire universe, what can be done? I mean, this mistake is already made. But the good thing is that they are going to be killed by the Lord, that they be killed by the Lord. Being killed by the Lord, all their sins will be purified and they will be liberated. And also, when the Lord appears to kill them, I will also able to see the Lord. Till now, I have not seen the Lord, but because the Lord is going to come here to kill these two sons of mine, I will also have the good fortune of having darshan of the Supreme Lord. So she is trying to see good in the bad condition also. So as a mother, she had desired to have children, but when she learned that her two children are very difficult, terror creating people, but she said that so whatever the case, if that is the case, they should be killed by the Lord. Let they be killed by the Lord, and by which they will attain perfection, they will attain moksha, and also I will be able to see the Lord, and I will also pray for liberation. So this is our desire. I do not desire death by the anger of the Brahmana. I was worried that my sons would be killed by the curse of a Brahmana since you said that the great souls would be angry with my sons. Hearing now that they would be killed by the hand of the Lord, I am satisfied in heart. Thank you, thank you. Like that, she is telling to her husband. By hearing from you that the Lord is going to appear and kill them, I am completely satisfied. Let that be, let that be. They should not be cursed by the Brahmanas. They should not be killed by the curse of the Brahmanas. That is actually not at all good. Why? If somebody is cursed by the Brahmana, why that is not good? That also she will tell in the next verse. Na brahmadanda dagdasya
Na Brahmadanda Daddasya
na bhuta bayadasya cha
Na Bhuta Bhayadasya Cha
narakasthanugrahananti
Narakashyanugrahanti
yam yonim asaugatah.
Yam Yam Yonim Asau Gataha.
That
Translation: a person who is condemned by Brahmana or is always fearful to other living entities is not favored either by those who are already in hell or by those in the species in which he is born. Hare Krishna.
the inhabitants of hell and those around him, when he takes another birth, do not show favor to the person who has been punished by the curse of a Brahmana, who have given fear to other living beings. So she says that if somebody dies by the curse of a Brahmana, after death, even if they go to hell, none of the other religious beings show any compassion to that person. They will be angry at him. Even eventually, when he takes birth in the animal species or human species, any other species, the species also do not show any compassion or friendliness toward that person. This person will be prosecuted by everyone because he is cursed by a Brahmana. So Brahma curse is very, very, very dangerous. So let my sons do not have such kind of pitiable situation, like that she is asking. Those in hell and those situated where he takes his birth again, do not show him any favor. They will all criticize and torment and torture, such kind of things will happen because that will be a result of Brahmana's curse. That will be a result of troubling the Brahmanas. So like that. So now, here she did two things. She said, let my sons be killed by the Lord. I desire the same, so that they will be purified of their sins and they will attain liberation. Let me also have the darshan of the Lord. Let me also attain the liberation. And then she said that let my sons do not be killed by the curse of Brahmanas, because Brahma shap se jo those people who die out of Brahma shap, they will not be favored by even anybody anywhere in the world. Even in the hell also people criticize and keep him aside. In human species, any other species, they will actually keep them aside because that will be a result of a Brahma shap. So hearing these things, here and also she begged forgiveness from Lord Shiva. She prayed to Lord Shiva that may Lord Shiva protect my child, let it, do not destroy my womb. So and she also feeling shame and also regret and all these things. Then hearing all these things, seeing the regret and remorse in the heart of Diti, seeing that she has become normal now, Kashyapa will say something pleasing to Diti. Though you will have two detrimental sons, but one of your grandson will be a great soul, whose glories will be sung by all devotees for the rest of eternity. And that will be giving so much pleasure to Diti. No, Kashyapa is saying. Kashyapa uvacha
कश्यप उवाच
कृतशोकानुतापेन
कृतशोकानुपातेन
सद्या
पापेन
सद्य प्रत्यवमर्शनात्
सद्या प्रत्यवमर्शनात्
भगवती उरिमानाच्च
भगवती उरुमानाच्च
भवे मय्यपि चादरात्
भवे मय्यपि चादरात्
पुत्रस्यैव च पुत्राणाम्
पुत्रस्यैव च पुत्राणां
भवैतैकसतां मतः
भवैतैकसतां मतः
गास्यन्ति यद् यशः शुद्धम्
गास्यन्ति यत् यशः शुद्धं
भगवद् यशसा समम्
भगवत् यशाश समम्. Translation. The learned Kashyapa said, because of your lamentation, penitence and proper deliberation, and also because of your unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and your adoration for Lord Shiva and me, one of the sons, Prahlada, of your son, Hiranyakashipu, will be an approved devotee of the Lord, and his fame will be broadcast equally with that of the personality of Godhead.
Kashyapa said, because you have lamented for your offense, because you regret it, because you greatly respect the Lord, and because you respect Lord Shiva and me, one of the sons of your son will be considered among the saintly. The devotees will glorify his pure fame, which will be equal to that of the Supreme Lord. So, because of these four reasons, the first reason is because you lamented for your offense, सबसे पहले regret, very important, and because you regret it, and because you greatly respect the Lord, and because you also respect Lord Shiva as well as me. Because of all these things, one of your grandson will be considered one among the saintly, and his glories are sung on par with the Supreme Lord for the rest of eternity. Because of lamentation and then repentance for committing offense, and the other three reasons, among the sons of Hiranyakashipu, one will be considered saintly. The saintly persons will glorify his pure fame, similar to or equal to that of the Supreme Lord. So this is a great blessing unto Diti. So Diti wanted to have a famous son and a powerful son, like the sons of other wives of Kasyapa. So because she was insistent upon having a such kind of son, and she approached her husband a wrong time, she will be having powerful sons but cruel. Uh, but she repented for that. She begged forgiveness. She prayed for the well-being. All these things. As a result of that, she will have one great grandson who will be famous. So she will have two cruel and powerful sons, and she will have one famous son, famous and saintly son, a famous and saintly grandson. So in such a way, all her desires will be fulfilled. Her desire to have a powerful and famous son will be fulfilled. So like that. Then Kashyapa now will talk about little bit what kind of why your grandson will be considered one among the saintly, and why your grandson's glories will be glorified for the rest of eternity on par with the Supreme Lord. What is the reason? I mean, what kind of personality is he? So briefly, he talks about the glories of Prahlad in the next 4-5 verses. Yogairhemev durvarnam
योगैर्हेमेव
योगैर्हेमेव
दुर्वर्णम्
दुर्वाणम्
भावायिष्यन्ति साधवः
भावायिष्यन्ति साधवः
निर्वैरादिभिरात्मानम्
निर्वैरादिभिरात्मानं
यश्शीलम् अनुवर्तितुम्.
यच्छीलम् अनुवर्तितुम्. Translation: in order to follow his footsteps, saintly persons will try to emulate his character by practicing freedom from animosity, just as the purifying process rectify gold of inferior quality.
Just as inferior gold is purified by heating, the devotees will purify themselves by showing lack of animosity to attain qualities like Prahlada. So he says that just like the gold is purified by putting it to fire, similarly, the devotees will be purified by following the qualities of your grandson. So your grandson will be like the fire. Hearing about him, discussing about him, the people in general will be purified. That is the glory, that is the fame of your grandson. Just as inferior gold is purified by eating and other process, devotees will purify themselves by processes such as freedom from animosity to attain his nature. That means each and every devotee will develop a desire that let me develop the qualities like that of Prahlad. Let me have the qualities like that of Prahlad. So they don't have any jealousy towards Prahlad Maharaj. Why Prahlad Maharaj like that? No, everyone will say that let me also become like Prahlad. Let me follow in the footsteps of Prahlad. Because Prahlad is a classical case. His own father was troubling him, but he never showed any disrespect towards his father. He always showed respect to his father only. यस्सेवयाग्नेरिव रुद्ररोदनं पुमान् विजयान्मलमात्मनस्तमः भजेत वर्णं निजयेश भोव्ययो भूताय भूया स ईशा परमो गुरुर्गुरु. This is a verse from 8th canto, 24th chapter, where I suppose, King Satyavrata is offering prayer to Lord Matsya, where Satyavrata says that just as gold ore, the raw gold, gives up its impurities by fire, the Jiva will give up his ignorance by service to you and attains his Swarupa. May that Supreme Unchanging Lord, the Supreme Guru, be our Guru. So he says that by service to Supreme Lord, one is purified. just like the gold ore is purified by applying to fire. So this verse says that because Prahlada completely dedicated to Supreme Lord, those who want to follow in the footsteps of Prahlad will be obviously purified. One should not claim that one can destroy ignorance by knowledge. Only by service to you, the Jiva can destroy his contamination of ignorance. Just as silver or gold gives up its impurities by fire. So in the Bhagavatam, gold is called as Rudra Rodhanam, the tears of Lord Rudra. Rudra Rodhanam is called gold. So here it is, the word is there. Your Rudra Rodhanam. So the tears of Lord Shiva which fell across, that became like golden ore, and that can be purified from the impurities by applying it to fire. Similarly, by serving the lotus of the Supreme Lord, every devotee can be purified of one's own contamination. The ore gives up its impurities by contact with fire, but not by washing. So by washing the golden ore, we cannot remove the impurities. We need to put it to fire. When the ore melts, the impurities will come out to the surface. When you separate them and bottom, you will left with pure gold. Similarly, by jnana and other processes such as karma, the jiva does not give up his impurities. So jnana yoga and karma yoga, such kind of processes are like the cleaning or washing, and bhakti is like melting. So gold ore can be purified only by melting, not by washing. But other processes are like washing, and bhakti is like melting. So bhakti only can purify one completely. So like that, King Satyavrata says in the 8th canto while praying to Lord Matsya, who was protecting him. So Lord Matsya is pulling the boat. In the boat, Satyavrata is there, and Satyavrata offering prayers to Lord Matsya. So like that. And next, our Kasyapa talks about the glories of Prahlad. Yat prasadatidam vishwam
यत् प्रसादात्इदं विश्वं
prasidati yadatmakam
प्रसीदति यदात्मकम्
saswadrug bhagavan
शाश्वदृग् भगवान्
saswadrug bhagavan yasya
शाश्वदृग् भगवान् यस्य
toshate nayana nanyayadrisha.
तोष्यते नन्यया दृशा. Translation. Everyone will be pleased with him because the personality of Godhead, the supreme controller of the universe, is always satisfied with a devotee who does not wish for anything beyond him.
Because of the mercy of the soul of the universe towards Prahlada, basically because of the mercy of the Supreme Lord towards Prahlad, the whole universe is pleased with him. The Lord who sees only his devotees with affection is satisfied with the devotee whose intelligence is directed only to the Lord. So two things. The Supreme Lord is mentioned as Paramatma in the heart of every living entity, and Paramatma is pleased with the particular devotee. Then the same Paramatma will inspire everyone in this universe to be pleased with the devotee. It is through Paramatma's compassion and consideration. So since the Supreme Lord is pleased with Prahlad, and the Lord is the Paramatma of every living entity, as a result of that, every living entity will be pleased with Prahlad, and everyone will show friendly disposition towards Prahlad. By the mercy of the Supreme Lord, Prahlada, hmm, the Prahlada will become the friend and loving object of the entire universe. By the Lord's mercy to Prahlada, the universe will be pleased with Prahlada. How is this? Since the Lord, the Paramatma, inspires the world, the enemies of his father, such as Indra, will be pleased with Prahlada. The Lord sees his devotees with affection. When the Lord is pleased with Prahlad, and Prahlad is the Paramatma in the heart of everyone, everyone will be pleased by Prahlad, or pleased with Prahlad. He is satisfied by the devotee's exclusive concentration on him. The devotee's intelligence does not wander to anything else. The Supreme Lord is satisfied when devotees constantly meditate upon the Supreme Lord, not wandering here and there. So the Supreme Lord is pleased with the Vyavasayatmika Buddhi kind of devotees. And since the Lord is pleased with such devotees, and everyone else in the universe also will be pleased with such devotees. because Lord is the Paramatma in the heart of everyone. So that will take place immediately. If Yasmin Tushte, Sarvam Tushte. If the Lord is pleased with us, everyone else, the entire universe is pleased with that person. Like that. So this is another important verse which talks about the wonderful qualities of Prahlada Maharaj. This verse and the next verse, 2-3 verses, talks about the wonderful devotional qualities of Prahlada Maharaj. Savai Mahabhagavato Mahatmana Mahatma
स वै
Savai
महाभागवतो महात्मा
Mahanubhavo Mahatam Mahishati Mahista
महानुभावो महतां महिष्ठः
Pravruddha Bhaktya Hi Anubhavitashaye
प्रवर्तभक्त्या हि अनुभाविताशये
Nivesha Vaikuntamimam Vihasati.
निवेश्य वैकुण्ठम् इमां विहश्यति. Translation: The topmost devotee of the Lord will have expanded intelligence and expanded influence and will be greatest of the great souls. Due to matured devotional service, he will certainly be situated in transcendental ecstasy and will enter the spiritual sky after quitting this material world.
Being a great devotee with great determination, the best among those on the level of prema, he will enter Vaikuntha with a mind full of realization by the intense bhakti and give up this material world. So your grandson is not only a great devotee, and your grandson will be glorified and will be pleased by everyone in this world, but eventually he will attain Krishna prema and go back home back to Godhead. He will attain perfection. He will be a great devotee with great determination of our intelligence, great among those with symptoms of prema. The cause of his being considered great is given. Entering into conditional spiritual world are actually entering into Vaikuntha with a mind which has achieved realization through intense bhakti. He will give up this material world. Very quickly, he will go back home, back to Godhead. That is the glory of your grandson, Prahlad. So, like that. These are the wonderful glories of Prahlad Maharaj. Of course, he will attain Krishna Prema and go back to Godhead. But while he is here, he will display the symptoms of Prema. Even while here only, he attains Krishna Prema and he will display the symptoms of Krishna Prema, and people will be mesmerized by such a display of Krishna Prema. And that is mentioned in the next verse. Alam Patashila Gunakaro
Alam pataशीलधरो
Patashila
गुणाकरो
Prishta Parardhya Vyatito Dukkiteshu
कृष्टा पराद्या व्यथितो दुःखेषु
Abhuta Jagata Shokaharta
अभूतशत्रुर्जगता शोकहर्ता
Naidagikam Tapamivodurajaha
नैदागिकं तापम ivodurajaha. Translation: He will be a virtuously qualified reservoir of all good qualities. He will be jolly and happy in others' happiness, distressed in others' distress, and will have no enemies. He will be destroyer of the lamentation of all the universe, like the pleasant moon after the summer sun.
He will be without greed. He will be with good nature. He will be the source of all good qualities. He will be joyful and seeing others' prosperity, and he will suffer and seeing others suffering. He will have no enemy, Ajatashatru, and he will deliver the universe from sorrow, just as the moon gives relief from summer heat. Later on the 7th canto, we see when Lord Narasimhadev appeared when Prahlad Maharaj is offering prayers. Lord Narasimhadev says that, please come to my abode. Prahlad Maharaj says, how can I come? When everyone in the conditioned souls in this world are suffering without seeing they are getting liberated, how can I come? I don't want to come. I'm not worried about my own liberation, my own deliverance. I want to see everyone in this world getting delivered. I want to see everyone in this world will be freed from the material existence and material suffering. That was the prayer of Prahlad Maharaj. So that was the mentality of Prahlad Maharaj, we can say. I have described Prahlada's devotion and the great qualities arising from his bhakti. Now here of his other qualities in his nature favorable for bhakti. His qualities cannot be fully listed. He is the source of all good qualities. He is Gunakara. He will be joyful on seeing the prosperity of others and pained on seeing the suffering of others. He is actually filled with unlimited qualities, but one of the important quality is Paradukka Dukhi and Parasukha Sukhi. Seeing the happiness of others, he is happy. Seeing the misery of others, he will be miserable. Just as the moon gives relief from summer sun, he will give relief to the world full of lamentation. So he will pray to the Lord that, my dear Lord, please deliver everyone in this world, deliver them from the material existence, deliver them from the material misery. That will be the mentality of Prahlad Maharaj. So, in one verse, there was a mention about hmm, his future. He will attain Krishna Prema and he will attain Vaikuntha. In another verse, why? What made him to attain Vaikuntha? And what made him to attain Krishna Prema? Because of these wonderful qualities. He is only concerned about everyone's welfare, not his own welfare. That makes him qualified to go to Vaikuntha. And finally, Antarbahishcha Malabjanetram.
Antarbahir Antarbahishchamalama abjanetram
Kapurusheshanugrihita Rupam.
Kapurusechhanugrahita rupam
Pautrastava Shri Lalanalalamam.
Pautrastava Sri Lalanalalam
Drishta Spurat Kundalamanditananam.
Drishta Spurat Kundalamanditananam. Translation: Your grandson will be able to see inside and outside the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose wife is the beautiful goddess of fortune. The Lord can assume the form desired by the devotee, and his face is always beautifully decorated with earrings.
He says that internally and externally, Prahlada will see the pure Lord with lotus eyes, who accepts a form according to the desire of his devotee, whose face is decorated with dazzling earrings, and whose beautiful form is possessed by Lakshmi. So, another important quality of Prahlad Maharaj is that Prahlad Maharaj will see the Supreme Lord within the heart and in front of his eyes. Every time he will be able to see the Supreme Lord. And Lord also, not that Lord appears effortless in say one form only. Lord can appear in any form that is suitable to the occasion as per Prahlad's meditation. Even if you see, in Prahlad was supposed to be killed by various means. Hiranyaksha ordered his army, soldiers, take this impudent boy and kill him. So they tried to kill him by allowing elephant to put his leg, elephant's leg upon him, snake's bite, and giving food mixed with poison, throwing him from the top of a mountain, and throwing him into a ocean, and different things. And every time Lord would personally appear and protect Prahlad, and putting him into fire, and beating him in, and beating him with what is that? With weapon, different kinds of weapons, and all these things. But every time the Supreme Lord appeared in different ways, and then protected Prahlad. And Prahlad never retaliated the punishments. He was only immersed in remembering the Supreme Lord. Every time the soldiers are trying to punish him, he was just remembering the Supreme Lord in his different capacities. And Lord would immediately appear and protect Prahlad Maharaj without his knowledge. That is the greatness of Prahlad Maharaj. The grandson Prahlada will see internally by meditation and externally with his eyes the beautiful form of the Supreme Lord possessed by Lakshmi. He is our. So Mother Lakshmi always resides in the chest, Vakshasthala of the Supreme Lord. So he is always able to see the Lakshmi Narayana or Lakshmi Narasimha or whichever form is required as per the time. So that is how we have to consider. So these are some of the important and wonderful qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. Because since Prahlad Maharaj is going to appear, there is a prediction about what kind of grandson Diti will have. All these things are mentioned, so that Diti will be pacified. She was lamenting and she was miserable because she insisted her husband to have a child in a wrong time. So she is praying to Lord Shiva and the Supreme Lord that let my womb be not destroyed by Lord Shiva, let my sons be killed by the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and let they be delivered, and let me also be delivered, etc. So, in order to pacify her, Kasyapa is telling that your grandson will be great devotee, and these are some of the qualities to be pacified. Right. Last verse for today's class. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Shrutva Bhagavatam Pautram.
Shrutva Bhagavatam Pautram.
Amodata Ditirvrusham.
Amodata Ditirvrusham.
Putrayoscha Vadam Krishnad.
Putrayoscha Vadam Krishnad.
Viditva Sen Mahamanaha.
Viditvasin Mahamanaha. Translation. The sage Maitreya said, hearing that her grandson would be a great devotee and that her sons will be killed by Krishna, Diti was highly pleased in mind.
Hearing about her grandson, devotee, Diti became greatly pleased. She was satisfied knowing that her sons would be killed by the Lord. She became joyful. My sinful acts will produce such a rare result, the summation of all pious actions. She became joyful at her good fortune. She was pleased since her sons would attain a glorious fame and fortunate end. And her grandson is a great devotee, a greatest among all great saintly people. So she was sorry that she is going to have two cruel sons, two asuras, but she was happy because the two sons are going to be killed by the Supreme Lord. As a result of that, they will attain liberation. And she was very, very, very happy that her grandson would be a great devotee among the great saintly people. So in any case, though she had children late, but she is going to have a great grandson who will be a greatest devotee in the entire creation. So thus, she became happy, directly or indirectly in one sense. So this is how the story is set, and what happens next we will discuss next Sunday. Before closing, any questions from any devotee? Hare Krishna, any devotees have any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no questions from any devotee, so we'll stop for today and we'll continue chapter 15. Chapter 15 is very important. Request all the devotees to be there. So in the first few verses, there is some introductory verses, but starting from verse number 13 or so, there is a description of Vaikuntha. Very important section. Request all the devotees to be present. And by the way,